What's up, beautiful besties? Welcome into Turning Tides Tarot. My name is Alicia. Thank you so very much for being here with me. I love y'all so much. I know it's been a minute since our last reading. I've been so incredibly busy with in-person readings, but I am here, and I'm actually here for a good reason. I was trying to take a break, to be totally honest with you. Um, and it's not really a break. I was trying to like clean my house, okay? And I was listening to the radio, which like I never do anymore. And I had one of these little moments where like spirits basically nudging me to sit down and record a reading, right? Now, on the radio, okay, that's why I mentioned it. Okay, on the radio, I heard, that song Nothing Compares to You, right? And then right after that was like Someone Like You, that Adele tune, right? And then there was a third one. I can't remember the title or anything, but basically the message was the exact same. It was all giving the same energy of like, wow, you really lost someone you were never going to be able to replace, right? That was the vibe. And then so I sat down in the energy and I pulled I shuffled the cards, pulled the 6 of Cups, the 7 of Cups, and the 5 of Cups. Wow. Okay. Someone is really in their feelings right now, I have to say. And it's someone who had options. Okay. I have to say, or they thought they did anyway. They could have been keeping themselves busy with distractions or other people fantasies, even daydreaming, thinking they had all the time in the world, whatever it looked like. And basically now they're sitting here realizing that, no one ever really hit the same. No one had your energy, and no one made them feel the way that you made them feel. Okay. Now, I have to say, with the 6 of Cups here, it was real, right? There was a lot of warmth, and I want to say, like, because sometimes with the 6 of Cups, it's like soulmate energy for me. So there was this like familiarity at a soul level here between the two of you. And there was just something about your energy that really made it feel easy and natural to this person. Even though I feel like they didn't fully appreciate it at the time. And so now what's happening is they're catching themselves comparing other people to you. Okay, comparing other people to you. And I feel like they're thinking about, the way you talked, the way you laughed, the way you carried yourself, the way you showed up, the way you paid attention to all the little things, right? That's what I'm seeing here. And wow, that's a lot of sage. Anyways, I feel like you really made this person feel understood, right? And I feel like right now they're in this moment where they're thinking about just your vibe overall, your humor, all of this good stuff, your presence, and they're remembering all those little things that made being around you feel different than anyone else, essentially, right? No one compares to you, right? And that Someone Like You song, it was really coming through. So I feel like what's happening right now, it's just landing for them that what you brought into their life, it wasn't small potatoes, right? It wasn't just attraction or chemistry, or convenience. You made them feel seen, right? And I feel like obviously a lot warmer. You made them feel warmer, and more alive, and then so it feels like after entertaining like maybe other options or trying to move around the connection, they're finding out the hard way essentially, that they were never able to find someone like you. Okay. And I'm feeling this very strongly for a lot of you. The hardest part in all of this is that you told them so. Like, I don't know if you use the exact words, but the energy is certainly here. Like, you're never going to find someone like me. You're not. And it's just is what it is. And I just feel like now it's really starting to hit them that you were right. Okay. You were right. So, we're going to go ahead, ring the sound bowl. I know it's a bit of a longer intro, but that's what happens when, real life collides with the readings. I gotta explain. Okay, here we go. I'm going to ring in the sound bowl, call in spirit. If you already know that this is a story that resonates with you, you can let me know by hitting the like button, okay, while we're doing this. Here we go. Okay. calling on spirit with so much love and so much gratitude. I ask for divine guidance as I interpret these messages. May they help us all on our journey towards our highest and greatest good. I'm asking for love, joy, peace, abundance, and protection for myself, for you, and for all beings on the planet at this time. Thank you so much, Spirit. All right, so I guess my first question is honestly, like, what are they realizing about you now they didn't fully appreciate before? Because that's what I feel is going on right now. It's like, I'm getting that they just took you for granted, right? That's what I'm seeing here. The lovers, let's be so for real with the lovers. Like, I feel like definitely they're realizing that being with you felt good again in this way that they took for granted. Okay. Like, you understood them, you really picked up on things without always needing that long explanation. You brought the warmth, consistency, humor, care, all the good things, right? There's a certain kind of ease that they felt around you. And it just had this like natural flow to it, right? And I feel like now they're seeing how extremely rare that is. Like, they're seeing how extremely rare that is. And not only that, but with the lovers does confirm the soulmate or even twin flame, if you want to put a label on it. It was a deep soul contract type of connection. Like, your souls absolutely did recognize one another. It was something like that. So I just feel like, yeah, it's a rare connection. And this is what they're realizing that they didn't fully appreciate before. And it feels like, unfortunately for them, in order to even clock it, to see it, to like realize it, they had to go find other, like, I don't want to say they had to, but they chose. It's in looking back that they're having this realization. Okay, I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. It's just unfortunate that this is what it took for them, that they had to go out and not see you and other people, or look for you and all these other people, and then not find you there. You know what I mean? So let's see what's wanting to come out here. We have the Four of Swords. The Four of Swords. Look, I feel like right now, the two of you are not in communication, okay? Now we're going to be, I know this is about the realization, but it's in the quiet moments that they're having these realizations, right? It could also be that, because no one else, they're not, like, no one compares to you. I do feel like they've pulled away from all these other people because they're just not kind of like measuring up. Okay, they're just not measuring up, and it's like it's not satisfying to them, right? The energy if they were exploring other options, I have to say, it's just not hitting the same. Like, their energy isn't hitting the same way that yours does, right? And I feel like they keep bringing it back to this feeling of you, like the way you made them feel safe enough to open up, or make them laugh. You made them laugh, and you just made things feel a lot lighter or even deeper, which is interesting, just by being yourself. Like, there was a depth to this connection. And I feel like they're basically at this point where they're realizing your energy has stayed with them. They haven't been able to forget about you either, which is like something that I feel like it's also rare. Like, I feel like this person is pretty good at compartmentalizing, if I'm saying that right, compartmentalizing. I don't know why I'm getting stuck on that, but or moving on, right? Moving on, forgetting about it, because other people's energy, it just doesn't linger the way yours does, right? And yours is lingering. So now I'm hearing that song "Linger" by the Cranberries, and then that kid who just covered it recently. Anyways, that's an ADHD tangent. But anyways, I'm hearing that song "Linger," like your energy has lingered with them. And so I feel like in these quiet moments where the two of you are not even in communication, and for good reason, I do feel like, obviously, if they were out here exploring other options, you would have pulled your energy right back and you would have said, okay, good luck. You're not going to find someone like me, if that's something that you said, but basically at the same time, it's just they're realizing that, being with you felt a hell of a lot different. And I just don't feel like they can ignore that anymore. No, they are quiet. They've pulled back from pretty much everything and everyone as far as like dating. Like, I feel like they've gone off the dating apps or whatever they were doing. If they were exploring these options, they've just totally pulled back from it. And what happens is when you're in hermit mode, this is the moment where spirit works with you the most. And you are connecting with what's right for you, what's true for you, what brings light into your world without the opinions of other people. So it's like, wow, this is really hitting true for me. This is ringing true for me. There is absolutely no one like you out there, right? Now, I kind of want to ask because you know, your girl's nosy, okay? How have other people or, you know, their other options shown them that no one's really comparing to you? I want to know how, you know, because that's the Seven of Cups part of all of this. Like, you know, I feel like they had like wandering energy for a very long time here. Like they've always been a bit of a wanderer and not really settling with anyone. So I feel like this is someone who always thought there was going to be something else out there or someone else out there or some kind of better option, you know, waiting around the corner, which is kind of a shitty way to live. But you know, this person was a wanderer, whatever. And now basically what they're seeing is what they had with you. You know, it's a lot harder to come by than they thought. It's a lot harder to come by than they thought. So, okay. How have other people shown them no one really compares to you? We have the Page of Cups. We have the Page of Cups. This is interesting. I feel like with other people, it was very surface level with the Page of Cups, because Page of Cups is like, hey, I want to impress you, feeling a little flirty. It's very like lighthearted energy. There's no depth, right? There's no depth, okay? So that is definitely one thing that they were seeing that's like, okay, that is not, it's not the same, right? They seem really fun at first, but it doesn't really go anywhere, right? So they look good on the surface maybe as well, but it doesn't make them feel much once they get past that surface layer, right? So I feel like they were comparing little things. Oh, the High Priestess here too, and the Four of Cups. Yeah, listen, the High Priestess is telling me that these other people or these other options that they were exploring just didn't have that, you know, X factor, that magical spiritual energy that you possess here. I feel like there was also like some low key telepathic energy between the two of you that again wasn't recognized while it was there. Now, that could look like, you know, I mean, if you're thinking about, hey, I don't know, let's go get some ice cream, and you're just thinking it, you didn't say it, and the other person's like, hey, I'm feeling like some ice cream. You know, it's that kind of a thing, that kind of a connection. Like there's depth to it, right? It's like you're reading each other's mail, and you were doing it in such a natural way, right? And so I feel like, you know, when they started like entertaining other people or, you know, talking to other people or distracting themselves, whatever, no one has really matched that feeling that they felt with you, right? And I feel like, again, they're just starting to see, you know, your energy had some real substance to it. And that's what keeps standing out to them now, right? Now, unfortunately, now, but it is what it is. That's what's causing the Five of Cups, and we'll get there, right? I feel like, again, you really made them feel very much understood, you know, but also excited too, like, and connected. There was like a very natural flow, natural chemistry. But there was also that comfort and depth, you know, and a real emotional connection here. Not only that, but a spiritual connection as well. And I feel like that's what they keep coming back to. You know, that's what they keep coming back to. And so we have the Four of Cups, and this is the feeling of boredom. And this is why I was like, I need to, you know, ask some more questions here, because I feel like these other people just made them feel bored, you know, and they would, you know, other people maybe were interested in connecting with them in a deeper way, but the person here that we're talking about did not want to. It was like, I'm not going to invest in you. Like, you already bore me, like snore. No, thank you. And so they've basically, I feel like that's another reason why, like, they totally pulled their energy away. Cause it's like, what's the point? No one is you, right? No one is you. No one compares to you. Am I ever going to find someone like you? Oh my gosh, what have I done? You know, that's the kind of realization. Now, again, like they were looking around, but they were unable to find what they had with you, right? And so this is where, you know, they basically shot themselves in the foot. This is where they shot themselves in the foot. And I have to just take a second right here. I do want to take a second because I want to know, like, you know, did you say something to them that like probably lives rent free in their head right now? Like, or like maybe you did tell them like, you're never going to find someone like me. Let me know, you know, because whatever you said, it left an imprint. It left a stain, and it's like making a lot more sense to them now than it did back then, I have to say. So just let me know. Let me know. Because, yeah, I mean, for a lot of you, they just keep coming back to something you said. They keep coming back to something that you said to them. So I have to say, I feel like it's more than just them missing you right now. What's hitting is like certain truths, that they didn't see before, right? And it's the truth of what it was that you said. Okay, so that's why your girl's nosy. I want to know. Let's see what's hitting them the hardest about losing you now. Because it is hitting hard with that 5 of Cups energy. I want to look at what's really hurting. Okay, what's the part they can't shake? What's the thing that keeps, landing heavier now that time has passed? Okay, what is it? Where's this regret really coming from? What's happening here? What's going on? The 5 of Cups, please. Let's clarify. Ooh, 10 of Wands. Yes, this is weighing very, very heavily on them. And they are feeling the loss in a very, very real way right now. And I feel like there's a lot of regret tied to, how they handle things. And maybe, obviously, not maybe, obviously, they regret now not choosing you properly, okay? And they were thinking, maybe I have more time, more control over the situation than they really did. So I feel like, yeah, it's like they did recognize your worth and value too late. And that's what's weighing on them the heaviest right now. And this is the hardest part of losing you, is that knowing that you were right. They're not going to find someone like you. The Queen of Pentacles is someone who, has a lot. They're grounded, they're committed, they're loyal. But this is also my self-care queen, regardless of your gender. This is somebody who really pours a lot of time, heart, energy. They don't give up. They're always here. They're available. They want to work on things. They solve problems. They're just so grounded and so practical in such a good way. And being around them feels very warm. It feels very inviting. You feel very comforted around them. There's somebody who enjoys, of course, the creature comforts in life and a little luxury and stuff. But that feeling, that vibe, you feel like you're living in luxury when you're around the Queen of Pentacles, right? They have an immense sense of self-worth and value, and they demand respect, okay? This is not a queen you want to mess around with. And that's the problem here, isn't it? Because that's what's weighing on them most right now. And it's like, so the main part of the regret is realizing your value too late. Like, I feel like this person let, obviously, their pride and ego, okay, or maybe fear or distractions, get in the way. And basically now they have to sit with the fact that they let something real slip through their hands. Okay. Now I feel like they're also, I don't know, I'm hearing like when they're by themselves, because they are right now, they're alone. Okay. But it is on purpose. They're the ones who have withdrawn. Okay. From the whole dating scene or whatever. I feel like they see and feel your energy in almost everything. Like, they see something that reminds them of you. A song comes on, they think of you, when they've been disappointed by someone else, your energy comes rushing back into their mind, right? I just feel like they're always thinking about you, and it's weighing very, 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 very heavy on their heart right now. It is, and it's too much. They can't ignore it. What do we have here? Sorry, that's just, it made me laugh because I basically said they can't ignore it. And then the 2 of Swords, which is the ignore energy of the deck, came out in reverse. No, thank you, Spirit. Confirmation. Okay, so I laughed. Spirit's funny. Spirit can be funny. They can't ignore it anymore. So thank you. Yeah, they just can't. And I feel like it's hurting them now. It's hurting them the most right now. Because they can finally see what it was that they lost. And they couldn't see it before. They didn't see it before, right? And they can't ignore it, right? They absolutely can't ignore it. So I feel like, what are they gonna do? What are they gonna do with this realization now? Oops, something flew out of the deck, y'all, onto the floor, and it was the Knight of Rods in reverse. Okay, so I just feel like what's coming next? Well, obviously, like I said, this person was a wanderer. So the Knight of Wands upright is somebody who's like here for a good time, not a long time, right? Sometimes, in the tarot sphere, we'll just jump right away and be like, oh, that's the player, because when the next shiny thing, can grab their attention and kind of steal them away, they burn hot and quick, and then they usually kind of move on. So, to see this come up in the reverse, it's like, okay, well, obviously there's regret for being that kind of a person who's always looking for the next best thing, right? And instead of being present with, what they have in the moment. So that obviously, that's how they shot themselves in the foot here, right? So what are they doing with this realization now? I feel like, honestly, it's making them question their wandering ways, okay? And making them want to do the opposite, right? Reversal. It's kind of like making them want to stay put, stay in one place, settle in, instead of being so highly distracted, right? Of the next shiny thing or whatever. So, I mean, honestly, I don't know. It just feels like they want to stop moving. They want to stop running. They want to stay put. They want to stay put. Okay. They're not wanting to look for anyone else anymore, is essentially what I'm seeing here. And we have the Queen of Swords. The thing is, this person is absolutely, I mean, they know, okay, that they can't come rushing towards you at this point in time because they know that you've got your guard up. And of course you do. This person bailed, right? This person bailed to go look at the next shiniest thing. And you're not having that. That doesn't fly with you. Okay. And so they see you as being somebody who is guarded, protecting themselves, but for good reason. This person hurt you. And you were just giving them your real authentic self. And you were here for the connection. And they bailed, right? They ran. So with the Queen of Swords, you have very strong boundaries, and you're not just letting anyone come running back in because they realize they made a mistake. But and I do feel like with the Queen of Swords, you could have been really sharp when you told them that, like, okay, good luck. Have fun on your merry little way. You're not going to find someone like me, You're not going to find someone like me, so don't come crying when you do. It's that kind of attitude. And I'm not saying that you wouldn't be open to a conversation with them. I'm just saying, well, maybe some of you won't. And you can let me know what camp you're in here. But all I want to say is that they know where you are standing right now as far as like your availability to them. Some of you could have even full on blocked this person, or just blocked them out from your energy. Because you had to protect your heart. You had to protect your peace. You had to have these strong boundaries. If you were allowing this person to just kind of come back in and out whenever they wanted, I feel like you've come to that realization that it's like, no, I can't allow them to do that because they're just going to keep on walking all over me like this. And I don't deserve that, right? So that's you knowing your worth and value. Okay, you're not allowing it. But I want to say, they absolutely miss you and they want to, and they know you are different, right? Now they know it. They know that you hit different, right? But it just feels like they're watching from a distance. I'll say that. It feels like they're watching you from a distance right now. And I feel like you have established some very, okay. I feel like you're in a position now where you feel good with where you are. You have a strong foundation, right? Some of you could even be in another partnership by this time. Okay, you could already be partnered. So they are watching, they're clocking. Does it feel safe for me to approach you? Do I even deserve your time and attention at this point? I feel like they're kind of in their head right now, very much in their head. They're in their feelings, wondering whether or not they want to stay put. They want to settle into your energy, but they kind of understand that it's pretty late in the game for that, so they're wondering what you're doing. I feel like they're asking about you, thinking about reaching out. Okay, definitely. Maybe even doing that thing where typing messages and then not sending them, or even just living in their head where they're just like imagining what they'd say if they came forward. So I feel like the feelings keep getting stronger and stronger. But look, I mean, you have, let's be real, energetically, you've done what you've had to do. You've turned your back. You've walked away. You've stopped investing in this person. and they feel it. They really feel it. And you have created that sense of stability and happiness in your life, regardless if you're partnered or not. You've successfully reestablished your sense of worth and value and purpose and happiness in your life. Like, it's not affecting you the way that it used to, because there's been some time. Time has passed and you've rebuilt yourself and you have a very strong foundation and sense of self. So, I mean, I don't know if they're actually going to do anything about it. It's hitting them. And I guess that is the real question. Are they going to actually do something? But at this moment in time, I feel like they're just like, I don't want to say like they're scared of you, but kind of. They're kind of scared of what you would say, I feel like. And this is coming through highly channeled because you were really direct with them. You were right. They were wrong, and now they look foolish. I have to say that they look foolish and they know it. Okay? So, I mean, some of you could even be in a life partnership right now, or this is something that they wish they would have established with you. Okay? They wish they would have established with you. They want to bring, here's the thing is they want to bring in this new spark and new beginning. They want to, but whether or not they're actually going to do it, we'll see. I mean, some of the energy is like, I have to say, it's kind of back and forth. And I feel like that's where they are right now. Back and forth. They're holding it in, but they want to move forward with the Chariot. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like they're a little bit scared of you right now. And I want to say as they should be. Because they definitely did you dirty in this sense, right? I mean, it's not your fault. They didn't know what they had till it was gone, but you were right. Okay. You were absolutely right. So, I guess now that we've got the tea of what's starting to sink in for them, I guess, our next question is one that, we can dive into if you feel like it for the extended, because like, are they going to do something about it? Are they going to come towards you? If you want to know that, if you're looking for more tea, we're going to dive deeper in the extended there. And I really appreciate anyone's energy exchange. It does mean the world to me. So I just want to put that out there. Because, I mean, missing you is one thing and realizing your value is another. But, like, what are they going to do about it? Right? So in the extended, I guess that's where we're going to look, like whether this person is actually going to get over this fear. Because right now I do feel like you're very strong right now and they're a little intimidated, but whatever. We'll see if they actually come forward. And if they do, like, are they, what are their intentions? Is this someone you could actually trust now that they're finally seeing things super clear, So, I feel like that's it for me now. I will come back with an extended. Everything you need is linked to the top of the comments. And first, I just want to say before we move on, thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of your support, for all of your energy exchange, for the people who are here liking the readings and writing beautiful comments and supporting one another in the comments. I love and appreciate every single one of you, and it overwhelms me. Thank you for being part of my journey and part of my day, and just for you being here allows me to continue doing the work that I love, and I just want to say how much I truly appreciate that. So to all the OGs here at Turning Tides Tarot and all of our new subscribers, bless you, thank you very much, and I will either see you in the extended or in the next reading. Thank you so much. All right, welcome to the extended, y'all. Thank you so much for the energy exchange. Okay, we're just gonna jump into it because we already know this person is a low-key kind of scared of you right now. I mean, they've been humbled, they're intimidated, they know you were right, and they know they were wrong, right? So instead of, like, I don't know, I just feel like they keep going back and forth, right? And they're sitting in this energy, and they're like, if I come back around, am I going to look stupid, right? Am I going to get rejected? Do I even have the right to come back? Whoops, I already dropped a card. Oh my gosh. Yes, let me show you what it is. I have to. Humbled energy. Okay, they had something. Listen, they know with the Nine of Cups, they had something they should have cherished that brought in all of the good feelings, wish come true energy, and they fumbled. They absolutely fumbled. They've been humbled because they fumbled. All right, so we know that. All right, let's get back into it. We need to go ahead and see if they're actually going to do anything about this. Okay, and that's why we're here. So, Spirit, please let me know, are they actually going to come back around? Are they going to reach out to our collective? We know they've been humbled because they fumbled. We know that. All right, so are they going to come back in? Are they going to reach around? Well, there they are out in the cold. I'll tell you what, they are feeling the loss. We know that already. Thank you for the confirmation. They're on the outside looking in, you know, outside of that warm light, feeling stressed out, feeling very, this is such a heavy burden. This is such a heavy burden for this person. Oh my gosh, they know they fumbled. And there you are with your self-worth and value, your glow up energy shining on. And there they are with the decision. Okay, so we didn't really need a recap here, Spirit. We're wondering whether or not they're actually going to make the move, because we know they're going back and forth right now. Okay, what? Come on, let's get into it deeper. This is what we're looking for. Let's get into it deeper. Are they going to make the move? Yes. This is a yes card. So they will be making a move because they've had the clarity. They know they have to come out with the truth. They know they have to communicate. They cannot ignore this, okay?